What I wish I knew then was not to be afraid to be ambitious and not to be afraid to put your hand up to say, I can do this. I want to do this, right? Like all too often, I've certainly worked with folks who are like, oh, but I don't have every single thing that the job rec says, so I'm not good enough and I won't apply. And then there's someone else over
Mhm.
here who's like, yeah, I've got 40% of that and I'm going for it. Like,
Right.
don't, don't, don't be afraid of who you can be. Like you can define that. So when I think way back to when I got started, right? I founded a startup company because I was ticked off that there weren't solutions for folks. 8 years ago, Hurricane Sandy hit, and I saw I'm from Staten Island. Digital divide firsthand. Shopkeepers, you got 6 feet of water in your store. I lived in a neighborhood that had lots of senior citizens. No one had access to information. And I said, that's not fair. We've got to do something about that. Now, I could have said, well, but how are we going to? Hand up, hand up, hand up. And then guess what? Suddenly you have all these relationships with folks at the city, state, and federal level. And suddenly you have these opportunities. So don't be afraid of working hard, and don't be afraid to say, I really want to soar and to go far. Like that's the advice. If I could go back and talk to Aileen 20 years ago, I would definitely say, um, because it gets you places and people believe in you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, it's um, yeah, it's nerve wracking when you're first getting started to be that person. So I appreciate you saying that. I think that's really that's powerful. Uh,
Oh, it totally is. And it's also fine to feel like completely nervous and say, how am I going to do this? Like we will get there, but also how can you, right? If you've got interviews or things coming up, can I, do a coaching session with someone? Can somebody do let's do a pretend interview and walk through there and do have folks to support you. It's like I have completely felt absolutely nervous for some things, and certainly before presenting and stuff. We all do. It may not come across that way because we found workarounds for it. So just remember that very confident person who is eloquent and on stage might actually be behind the scenes still feeling like, we can work past this and it's okay because we all feel those nerves. But yeah, I'd love to take questions. And if we can't get to them all, again, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Twitter. And if you want to ask one-on-one as well, I'm welcome to take those questions.
Make sure to check out the My Career tab on the BC Navigator app, where you can track your career progress based on the amount of credits you've earned, stay updated on upcoming events from the Magner Center, and watch our videos for insight and advice on your career field.